I know this might sound crazy, but trying to stay debt free might actually be keeping you broke. And no, I'm not talking about going out and financing a new car or something that you can't afford. I'm talking about using the type of debt that can actually make you money. If you're new here, my name is Jalil Nash, and I help business owners access up to 6 figures in business credit so they can leverage it to grow and scale their business. And today I want to share one of the biggest money lessons that I've learned so far on my journey. And it's why the debt-free mindset can actually hold you back if your goal is to create financial freedom. So with that being said, let's jump into it. And now when most people hear the word debt, they think about credit cards that are maxed out on vacations, financing a new car that they can't afford, or taking out loans for things that lose value as soon as you buy them. So they work really hard to stay completely debt-free. And on the surface, that makes sense, right? You avoid risk and you stay safe. But here's the trap. When you're focused only on staying out of debt, you're also avoiding tools that can help you grow faster and more effectively. You're playing defense your entire life instead of learning how to play offense. And that's honestly what keeps a lot of people stuck. Because while you're saving and scrimping to pay cash for everything, wealthy people are out here controlling assets using other people's money. And so just let that sink in for a second. And so let me give you an example of how wealthy people use debt to control assets. Let's just say that an investor might put down 20% on a rental property and finance the rest. And let's say that they have the full amount in cash to be able to pay for the property in full, but they still decide to go through with taking out a loan to cover the other 80%. That rental brings in cash every month that pays the loan, covers all the expenses, and puts extra money in their pocket. Meanwhile, the value of the property is continuing to go up and their loan is getting paid down by the tenant. And so that's a really good example of how you can use debt to make money. And now to purchase this property, they didn't have to save up all the cash to be able to cover the full purchase price. They simply just moved faster by leveraging good debt. And then over time, that one property turns into 2, then 4, and then 10, all because they understood how to use debt the right way. And now when it comes to risk, the goal is not to avoid it. The key is to manage it wisely using proven strategies. And so the key is that as long as you're not over leveraged, you have reserves, and you're following a solid plan, you'll come out on top. I remember the first time that I used business credit to fund a deal. At the time, I was nervous, and I had been conditioned to think that debt was all bad. But I saw firsthand how having access to funding allowed me to move faster, take on a bigger opportunity, and actually grow my income and my asset column. That's when I realized that the key is not staying debt-free, it's staying bad debt-free, and then learning how to use good debt to your advantage. And the main part to keep in mind about using this strategy is that the investment would actually pay off the debt that I used and do it in a relatively short amount of time. When you use debt to make money, it pays for itself. So now let's talk about the real costs of the debt-free mindset. Here's what most people don't see. The longer you wait trying to save your way to wealth, the more opportunities you miss. Because while you're waiting 5 to 10 years, saving up enough just to buy that first property or start that business, someone else use business funding to start doing that today. And that extra time is years of cash flow, years of growth, and years of wealth building that you'll never get back. Wealthy people don't just focus on what something costs. They focus on what it costs them to not take action, which is also known as opportunity cost. And so that's the real price of the debt-free mindset, missed opportunities. So don't aim to be debt-free, aim to be bad debt-free, and start learning how to use good debt, which is debt that buys you income-producing assets and builds your wealth over time. And so if you want to see how we help business owners access funding and use it the smart way, click the link below and get your free funding game plan today. With that being said, my name is Jalil Nash, founder of JSM Funding Solutions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.